There's the music. That means it's time for Animal Talk. Some of the best doggone pet people on the planet. I'm Jamie Flanagan, and we're going to be doing shrooms today. I'm just a kid that grew up on the east side of Detroit, and saying that held a slightly different context back in the 80s for me. But today, no, we're going to talk about mushrooms and pets and get some good quality information. And we're going to steer clear of my shenanigans. But first, little business to take care of. So if you're listening, do all those podcast things in all the podcast places. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. We appreciate everybody who comes along, and especially our sponsors. Insert sponsors here. So yes, thank you to our sponsors and everybody who's listening. Again, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and then more importantly, tell 10 of your friends. That would be a wonderful thing. But we love having you with us, and we love finding out interesting things about our pets and animals. And like I made an offhanded joke about doing shrooms, we're talking real mushrooms and real good health for pets. And we have a couple of guests on us with us today to inform us about what mushrooms can do for our pets. First up, we got Joni Kamlet, and Joni is the Director of Veterinary Education and Outreach. And then we also have Dr. Rob Silver. Dr. Silver and Joni, here we go, bringing you guys into the party. Welcome to Animal Talk.
Hello there. Good to be here.
All right, so it's realmushrooms.com. We're going to get to that in a minute. I don't know who I want to pick on first here. I don't know if I want to pick on Rob or Joni. Rob.
Pick on
Rob. Rob, tell me about your childhood. No, Rob, but really,
I was born at a very early age.
I was very, very young. I wanted to be near my mother. That's what I was. But Rob, no. What led you to you're a veterinarian? What led you to your passion for pets and animals?
Yeah, I've always had a love for animals. My parents really wanted me to be a medical doctor. If I sound okay?
Yeah.
My audio okay? Yeah.
Yep.
My parents really wanted me to be a medical doctor, and I just couldn't imagine that. So I took the other pathway. I'm the four-legged medical doctor.
All right. And Joni, what about you? What was your path to pethood?
My path to pethood. Oh my gosh. Growing up, I never had dogs and cats. My mom was allergic to everything with hair or fur. So I grew up like my only pets. I had a pet snake and I had some turtles, but I took care of all the neighborhood pets. And then I actually went to school to become a veterinary nurse in my 40s. Did a hands-on veterinary for about a decade and then got into the supplement business. Then became completely obsessed with mushrooms a couple years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
So I had an obsession back in the 80s, but that was entirely different, and it didn't always end well. So, but I'm much better now. But no, so when I talk, I have that concept of people say mushrooms, and then actually now with medical marijuana and legalized recreational marijuana, it comes into play, and that's just what snaps into my 12-year-old brain when you say it. But so tell me about realmushrooms.com and what this can actually do for pets, and how do you feed it to the pets? Yeah.
Sure. Rob, you want to take that?
Yeah, I'd like to also go back to talking about shrooms in general and the context that you just were referring to, Jamie.
Yeah.
In that, with your association of the word shrooms with the more recreational or spiritual mushrooms is common. Everybody does that. In fact, when you talk about CBD, everybody wants to talk about THC, and it's always about the intoxication,
Right.
And the reality is that although at the time back when you and I were both experimenting back when we were 12 years old, we have now learned that mushrooms actually can play a very significant role in helping people overcome some mental health issues, fear issues, PTSD, these kinds of things, severe anxiety and depression. And we don't really have much information yet about how it works in our animals. But many of our animals, have PTSD. Many of our animals, rescue animals, they've been traumatized. Look at the dogs that go to war. I mean, how traumatized must they be? So I know that there's some early investigations into looking at the shrooms that we both grew up on in terms of helping dogs and cats with some of their emotional types of issues. But what is interesting about mushrooms is they're mushrooms in general, is that they're an incredibly diverse organism that has multiple constituents in our molecules that are bioactively and medically active. I mean, there's many of them. There's not like just one, like THC. It's like cannabis in a way, because we know cannabis has the THC and the CBD, but there's also, 50 to 100 other molecules in there at least, all of which can work together to create a better health situation for many people or for animals. Likewise with the mushrooms, they've got a set of very common compounds that can help enhance immune system function. And then they have a variety of other compounds which also can help animals and people to feel better, to relax, to get over illnesses, to try to deal with cancer, that sort of stuff. So this company that Joni and I are working with, it's a company that for the last 10 years has been selling these products for humans. But there is now much more interest in using them for pets. And so I approached this company last year because of my experience and expertise in animal supplements, in creating product lines, and my understanding of the science that underlies all this stuff. And I suggested to them that because there's all of this consumer interest in helping keep our pets healthy using natural substances like mushrooms, would they let me put together a product line for them? And they said, yeah, please. Yeah. So that's what we're in the process of doing. We're just in the beginning of it. We've gotten, I don't know, six different formulas right now. Yeah. And that's just the beginning.
So Dr. Rob, you're pretty much a mad scientist then. You're just mixing and conjuring and
I'm a happy scientist.
Yes.
Making animals happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So and it's true. I've got a little lab here in my basement, and I've got a lot of fun, putting these things together.
Sure.
And with animals, it's not just whether it works; it's whether it's tasty enough that the animal can accept it. Because that can be a real burden on a pet parent to try to give something to an animal every day that it doesn't want you to give it to them. It doesn't make it a very pleasant event when you're trying to help them get healthier and they're fighting you all the time. So that's the real challenge with doing pet products, is making them easy to give and effective too. If the animal doesn't take it, it ain't gonna work.
So, Joni, do you have any firsthand experience giving mushrooms with any of your critters?
Oh, absolutely. So I have a little dog, Scruffy, and I've been giving her mushrooms for a couple years now, and she loves them. I mean, I sprinkle them on our food. I also, in addition, mushrooms are great, in a variety of different ways. You don't have to necessarily buy mushroom supplements. You can, the same mushrooms that are safe for humans are basically safe for animals. So cooking with mushrooms, for instance, shiitake, even just the common button mushroom is very high in all kinds of wonderful, nutrients. It's high in theanine. And so, when you're cooking mushrooms for yourself, you can put some in your pet's bowl. So I do that for my dog. I give her a variety of different mushroom supplements a day. Absolutely. And as Dr. Silver was saying, Real Mushrooms, the company we work for, they've been carrying human supplements for a number of years, and people started using them for their pets. And it's just amazing. Like we get, when somebody gives a review, we get a little ping on our phone, saying somebody's just left a review. And it's just amazing. It's heartwarming to people, talking about the benefits that they're seeing in their pets when they're adding mushrooms to the diet. And of course, this is all anecdotal, but still, it's like all these people can't be wrong, with, pets, getting some relief from anxiety, support for their cognitive function, even, the big C word. And I'm not talking coronavirus, I'm talking cancer, people talking about very often, that's where mushrooms come in with pets, is that, there's a lot of anecdotal evidence, and Dr. Silva can go much more into the clinical studies. That's often how people find their way to mushrooms for pets, is when they're dealing with something like cancer or or an illness where they're looking at options. Maybe they've tried conventional medicine and they're looking to add to that, or they don't want to go the conventional route and they're looking for other options.
So I'm looking at the website, realmushrooms.com, and there's a little button for pets, and it takes you to the 6 different blends that you were talking about. And then one is called 5 Defenders. And then we have one that says Relax on it. Yeah, Mushroom Relax, Mushroom Immune. So I'm going to guess that's, for relaxation, for boosting the immune system. Turkey tail. What is that? Does that make your pet grow a turkey tail? Is it, what?
You should see my dog Scruffy. Is she like, oh my God.
What is,
season, all the turkeys come running.
Dr. Rob, what is it? Because there's, is it relish, lion's mane, turkey tail? Which is lion mane? I'm going to guess maybe that's for a healthier coat. So what are these different formulations geared towards?
So this is what turkey tail looks like.
Yeah, okay.
And although it's dried, when it's colored, when it's fresh, you have all of these ridges here that look like the colorful tail of a turkey, which is how it got its name. So, yeah,
there you go. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Isn't that neat? So, okay. And what was your question?
So what is turkey tail? The turkey tail blend here. What's that for? What's that when you're giving that to your pet? What's the goal?
Well, the turkey tail is just a single mushroom species in that bottle that you see on the website, which is in a capsule form. And historically, over hundreds of years in Asia and in other parts of the world, in Europe and North America as well, the turkey tail mushroom grows globally, and native peoples have adapted it to use to treat cancer and other types of immune system problems, including viral infections. In fact, when I was exposed to coronavirus and my daughter got it, I started taking a bunch of turkey tail because of the antiviral properties and the ability to improve immune system function. So there have been some advancements in extracting some of the goodies, the more powerful ingredients in turkey tail, and they've done some kind of pharmaceutical processes with it to extract single molecules that are very potent against cancer. But the whole mushroom contains many, many different compounds in it which work together. And so we feel that the turkey tail mushroom is a very valuable contribution to any health program for a dog or for a human being.
All right, and what about the lion's mane? What that formulation? What's the goal for that formulation?
Joni, would you like to talk about lion's mane? Joni just wrote an article on lion's mane. Yeah.
Joni, is that cognition? Now that I'm zooming in, it's cognition.
Yeah.
I thought it was maybe for a good coat. Lion's mane. I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
But
lion's mane is a really interesting mushroom, and it's relatively new. Even though, ever since Fantastic Fungi came out and people are getting more interested in mushrooms, lion's mane's out there in the marketplace, but it's actually a relatively new mushroom because it's rare in the wild, and it's only been in the past maybe decade or so that they figured out how to cultivate it on a large scale. And so it's kind of the mushroom darling right now. And there's something called the doctrine of signatures, which says that often like plants can look very much, and mushrooms can look like what it is that they're good for. And so a lion's mane kind of looks like a brain. And so it's excellent for cognitive function. I just wrote a paper on lion's mane and canine cognitive dysfunction, which is like doggy dementia. So I would definitely use lion's mane proactively for an older dog to support cognitive function and also neurologic issues. But traditionally used in Asia and over the world to support the gut. So any ulcers, irritable bowel disease, etc. So again, for that older dog that maybe has some gut issues, lion's mane, and it's also it can be anti-neoplastic, so it's got some cancer supporting qualities to it as well. It's anti-inflammatory, as are all mushrooms. But lion's mane is very exciting because, again, it's really just starting to get used in the veterinary world. And the feedback that I've received, I work with a lot of veterinarians, and it's the pet parents that, and again, the clinical studies, unfortunately, aren't out there yet. And, we're hoping Dr. Silver is hoping to start some studies with real mushrooms on a number of different, a number of different studies on mushrooms. But the feedback from the pet parents, when their dog is, animals can what they call sundowning at night, just like people. Animals can do that too. And, their pet parents are reporting that, the dog is finding the dog door where they couldn't before. They're initiating play. They're making direct eye contact. Things like that, like the activities of daily living are improving. And so, very often when you are supporting an animal or, giving supplements, you can't really see a difference. You kind of hope something's working. But what I'm finding is with the lion's mane, sometimes these improvements you can really, are very noticeable.
All right. So, Dr. Rob, on the bottles, you have your bright, shiny face there, and you got a furry friend with you. There's a gorgeous white puppy. Who is that in the photo with you?
That's my main man. That's Ollie.
Ollie?
And and he and I both were younger in that photograph. He's about 6 or 7 now.
All right.
And he's managed to put a few pounds on. He's a Labrador.
Yeah, that happens.
We had another dog in the house, Violet, and she passed away recently. And when she lost her appetite, Ollie didn't mind that at all. So he started swooping down and finishing her bowl. We didn't realize that at first. He put on quite a few pounds, so he's on a pretty strict diet right now.
So the different formulations, a few of them are capsules and a couple of them are chews, right? So are these things that you can open up and put in their food, or is it something you want to hide in a sausage?
Yeah. Let me kind of explain the big picture behind the products, because, as I said, we're just really in the very beginning of it. We started with these 2 soft chews, the relaxed chews and the immune chews. And the immune chews contain our 5 defenders, plus there are other herbs that help to support immune system function. So I kind of put those together to be this very synergistic formula to make it easy to give to the animal, because soft chews are so much easier than a capsule. So we have that. The Relax contains the lion's mane and could be used in a canine cognitive dysfunction sense, but it has herbs in it that are also kind of more calming. So that's really much more of a calming formula. It has lion's mane and something called reishi in it, and it's got tryptophan and theanine in it. Theanine's what gives green tea its zen,
Yeah.
So those are the 2 soft chews. We've got more in mind, but right now we're looking to finish the capsule line. The capsules are encapsulations of our purified single mushroom powders, except for the 5 defenders. And we have 2 more single mushroom powders that we have not yet encapsulated in a bottle that's labeled for pet use. Now, the FDA doesn't like bottles that are labeled for human use to be sold for pets, or bottles that are labeled for pet use to be sold for humans. So we have been we've encapsulated our mushroom extracts. We put them into capsules that are smaller than the human capsules, because animals are smaller than humans, and so they don't need as large a capsule. It's easier to administer, and the dosage is more adapted to their weight. But to answer your initial question, yes, you can open those capsules and you can sprinkle them in the food. Now, the human products in our product line, we do have pouches that have these powders that we've encapsulated in a bulk format. Right now, we're trying to figure out what to do about that, because a lot of people buy pouches themselves, and they're also scooping them for their pets at the same time. And there's nothing wrong with that. But again, if you're selling products for pets, you really need to have products that have labels and instructions and precautions and all the quality control things in order for it to be a safe and legitimate product of commerce. So we're kind of working on debating how we're going to do that, because some of the powders are not that palatable for pets, and so I'm thinking about adding some other ingredients like like a green-lipped mussel or like krill or something like that has a very strong kind of fishy tidal pool taste that might overcome the taste of a more bitter, difficult to take herbal extract. So that's so we're in a process. Plus, we're going to do some specialized formulas, like a canine cognitive dysfunction formula. I've got an allergy formula in the works, and although we can't call it this, we've also got a cancer formula in the works.
Okay.
The FDA doesn't like the word cancer.
Yeah.
And Ollie is the taste tester for all of these. If it doesn't pass Ollie's, if it doesn't pass by Ollie, then it has to be reformulated.
Yeah.
I figure if a fat lab won't eat it, we're in trouble.
So I know a little bit, and it's what they always say is a little knowledge is very dangerous. But from what my understanding is canine veterinary medicine and feline veterinary medicine are very different things. But these are good for both canine and feline, our feline friends. I'm a cat guy. I got my boy Percy. He's I love dogs. I love dogs, but when it comes down to it, I'm kind of a cat guy. So this is safe for my kitty cat.
Yeah.
So I don't discriminate on the basis of
we like you anyway.
Basis of breed or hair coat color.
Yeah.
Yes, these are fine for cats. They are safe to use. Cats, as you know, if you're a cat fancier, are much more sensitive to toxins than dogs are, horses, or humans. So they are safe to use. The biggest problem with a cat using these is getting the cat to take them. Cats are pretty picky about what goes into their mouths, and there's a good reason for that. I don't know if you realize this, but because cats are much more sensitive to toxicity, over the millennia, they have developed to be very picky. It's a life-saving pickiness, And what they do is they smell the food, and their olfactory apparatus is very sensitive. And if they smell something in the food that they didn't smell the day before, they get suspicious, because if they smelled it the day before and they're still alive, then they could probably eat it. But if it's something that they're unfamiliar with, they probably won't take it. So I have a strategy for introducing things to cats that works for most cats. Some cats are pretty difficult. Some cats are impossible, should we say, to get anything into them. But so that's the big challenge. Cats, for the product formulator, which is, in addition to being a veterinarian, that's kind of what I do. I kind of like it. It's like cooking, It's my mad scientist thing, as you say. But for a product formulator to be able to formulate a product that is palatable to a cat is like the holy grail. If you could do that, you've got it definitely.
That's true. And I have to add that the Relax Chews that Dr. Silver was talking about, they happen to have catnip in them as well. It's one of Dr. Silver's favorite formulas. And when we did the taste testing, I was actually surprised by how many cats ate the chews. I didn't think any would. And I would say at least more than half of them ate them, and some of them played with them before they ate them, which really, one of them rubbed against the chew, and played with it, then ate, batted around and ate it. So, it's
I reformulated because the first batch we made, Ollie wouldn't eat them. He wouldn't eat them. I'm going, great. So we added some chicken liver to it, and we kind of bumped a little bit of the proportions around to kind of play with the taste. And now he'll eat it. He'll eat as many as I put in front of him. I think I ate 7 last night.
Nice.
We all breathed a sigh of relief when Ollie gave his approval.
Well, yeah, you can't have a dog be your poster boy on the label and have him not eat one.
Right.
So to be a little ironic.
A lot of people that would be into this and open to trying this for themselves or their pets, those are the kind of folks that, generally speaking, really like to do their own research and dive into it and learn themselves. So, Joni, when people are trying to research you and what they're going to buy and put into themselves or put into their pets' bodies, is there a good information on your website that they can dive into? And is there a big old rabbit hole they can dive down?
Yes, absolutely. If you go to our website, the realmushrooms.com website, we're very big on education. That's one of the reasons I joined the company, is like we want people to understand. The more they know about the mushrooms, the more they're going to realize the quality of our products, because there's unfortunately a lot of products out there that are just not mushrooms. But we have blogs. If you click on, I think it's Learn up in the top right-hand corner, you'll see a number of different blogs. And I want to give a shout out to Dr. Silver, who just did a wonderful turkey tail blog that just came out a few days ago. That you can read all about, if you have an interest in a mushroom, you can read about the lion's mane or reishi. You can read about mushrooms for yourself. You could read about proper extraction methods. There's so many different articles on there that you can read. That's an excellent source.
Yeah, generally speaking, when people are into this holistic, and I would call this a little bit more holistic, they really love to read and dive into it. Yes. So it's good that's out there for them. And so purchasing the product, it seems like the price range is pretty reasonable for a jar, anywhere from $20 to $35, depending on which formulation you're getting. That's a reasonable amount for vitamins. I know Dad's vitamins are a lot more than that, but my dad vitamins I got to take. But so those are reasonable prices. Where is it? Just through your website, or where can people find these products?
You can also get them on Amazon. Okay. And Dr. Silver actually has his own website called the Well Pet Dispensary, where I'm just going to give a shout out to Dr. Rob, because he's got a wonderful CBD line as well. He happens to be an expert in cannabis and CBD as well, and has some wonderful products there. So you can get everything on Dr. Silver's website, but realmushrooms.com, or you can go to Amazon.
Okay. And Dr. Silver, what's your website again?
It's Well Pet Dispensary, just like it sounds, one word.com. And we've got a lot of very good professional level supplements for problems that pets have there.
All right, wellpetdispensary.com. I'll have links to all those down in the descriptions of the videos and the audio podcast when it comes out. So that's we'll have you all connected for that. Anything else that we didn't talk about that I need to know about real mushrooms, Joni?
Well, I did want to tell you that we're going to send you a free bottle of mushrooms for your kitty.
Oh, yay. Okay.
I think, what do you think, Dr. Silver? Lion's mane, maybe?
Lion's mane for his haircut.
Yeah, for his haircut, yeah.
He already thinks he's a lion. He's like,
it's the tastiest of the mushrooms, okay. Which, and we want cat lovers to say, oh, mushrooms are great. So we'll send you the mushroom that has the best chance that your kitty's going to love it.
It comes in a capsule, so you can just open it up and blend it in.
Yeah. All right.
I also want to say that as far as education, that if they come to the website, the Real Mushrooms website, and they sign up for our newsletter, Joni writes a really good newsletter for pet parents every month. I write a newsletter for veterinarians and that sort of stuff every month as well. So we really believe that education is the best medicine, and so we're very strong in that regards.
Yeah. Also a Facebook page. We have a Real Mushrooms Insiders Facebook page. If you buy product, you're invited to our Insiders page where, all kinds of questions, pet questions, human questions get asked, and you can learn more there as well.
Awesome. All right, Joni, Dr. Rob, I appreciate you guys. Realmushrooms.com, and thank you for your time today.
Oh, our pleasure.
Thank you, Joni.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right, be well.
Bye-bye.